She said that I have struggled with motivation and consistency in business and in life for years. I know and understand my why is so much more important part of this. The revelation I had was I need to reframe this. Instead of thinking about the stuff I get in life when I achieve my goals, I should be thinking about the things I'm taking away from other people or causes by not achieving my goals. Thoughts? Addie, to you.
I don't have any thoughts on that comment.
Go ahead. Well, you had another thought on something else. Go.
No, I was just going to say it's very interesting when you think about the definition. Like if we all wrote down our definition of freedom, it may be similar, but it also may be very different. And I think, there are people that I know that consider freedom checking out at 5 o'clock every day and not having to answer their emails, not having to solve any
100%,
problems, not having to worry
100%.
about payroll, not having to worry, right? So like, I think we're looking at freedom and discussing freedom through the context and lens in which we seek freedom and which we, define what that is. So
Correct.
I think it's really important to keep that in mind, because at the end of the day, we're based on what your definition is and based on what you're solving for, there's a certain set of variables in that equation that will equal that answer for you. There's a perfect plan and model for unlocking that freedom for anybody, whatever that looks like, employee or not employee. I don't think there's a right or a wrong answer, a right or a wrong path. I think there's just one that's specific to your outcome that you're solving for.
Just on Ash's theme too. And by the way, Ash, I'm not Catholic, I'm Jewish, just for the record. I'm just saying. But what's interesting within this, and Maddie, I agree with what you said. It's like I have two thoughts on this, because I can't tell you how many times, as an entrepreneur, which everybody on this call is, we set out with this intention. The reason why I became an entrepreneur is because I was working 100 plus hours a week and missing my kids growing up. And I didn't start my business because I wanted freedom. I started my business because I literally said, if I'm going to work 100 hours a week for someone else, I might as well just do it for myself, because then at least I can be home at night. And that's where my journey started. But you know how many times I've woken up and realized, and this is the human sickness, I think. It doesn't matter whether it's somebody in a W-2 job or running a business that's doing $1 million in revenue or 10 or 100 million. I think our human sickness is like more. Or we start heading down a certain path. And I can't tell you how many times that I thought, okay, 3 years from now, if I could just achieve this or hire X amount of people or whatever, I'll just be happy and I'll have my freedom. And then you go down the road and you've got 100 employees and you don't have your freedom, or you had 100 employees, but you had to lay off 30 of them and now you're working. It's the human sickness of just like not being happy. And back to the Jewish statement, the reason why I brought that up was, there's a story in the Old Testament where the children of Israel they were slaves to Pharaoh. And you watch this story and they were slaves and God brought them out of Egypt. And then you fast forward and the children of Israel. So in this story, like God never designed them to have a king. That was not, and even if you think about why America was founded, we broke away from the king. We wanted freedom. But the crazy thing about human nature is we tend to come back into bondage. And the children of Israel are a great story because they came out of bondage, wandered through the wilderness, and then you fast forward and they were asking for a king. God said, you don't need a king. And they kept asking for a king. And so God finally gave them a king. His name was King Samuel. And then everything went to hell. And it's human nature. The reason why I bring up that story is because I can see it in my own life.
Well, that's what I'm saying, Mike. So why do we do that?
Well, I was about to answer. The reason why we want a king in our life is because we want to put responsibility off of ourselves and onto someone else. And it's human nature. I mean, even when we find ourselves as entrepreneurs, and I'm not saying this is a bad thing, but when we find ourselves in trouble, we just go to a mentor or whatever and just tell me what to do. Because in reality, we want somebody to tell us what to do. And I think the core deep-rooted issue is we can't handle freedom. We can't handle the responsibility on the other side of it, because we want somebody to tell us what to do. Just, would you make my life easier and just tell me how to get out of this? And in reality, that is not the progressive human level that we're all really seeking after. How do I become the highest version of myself? Make decisions, make mistakes, and own it. But we want somebody else to blame for our problems.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed this snippet and want to catch the full episode, head over to our YouTube channel, The King's Table Podcast. The link is right down in the description below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like, and ring that bell for notifications, and you are not going to want to miss this amazing content that we have for you every Friday. And remember, we love hearing from you, so drop your thoughts, questions, or feedback that you might have in the comments. We read everything, and we want you guys to respond so we can engage with you. It means the world to us. A big thank you for being part of the King's Table community, and if you found value in today's episode, remember that the cost of listening is that you must share it with somebody that may benefit, whether it's your friend, your family, your coworkers. So please keep sharing, keep engaging, and until next time, stay royal.